This is Zen English Podcast, a mini podcast trying to help you with some of the mechanics of your English. Let's talk about a mix of pronunciation, intonation, fluency, grammar, all in one word, chunks and chunking. When you chunk, you put words together. This can go for writing. When you're writing something, you might want to add some chunks of words into a sentence or a paragraph in order to help the message. So instead of just saying, the cat was on the wall, you say things like, the cat was happily on the wall licking itself. And you're putting in groups of words in order to help the message. Well, the concept of chunking can also help intonation and pronunciation. When you think of how English sounds in that up and down musical way, what's happening is words are coming together in unusual patterns if you're not used to identifying what are the important words and the power words. What are those power words? Those power words are usually verbs. The unimportant words in English are usually articles and the little words that don't give punch to the meaning and the idea that we're trying to express. So the emphasis and focus is on the verbs, the actions, the color, the light, the brilliance of the sentence, which rests in its adjectives and in the important ideas expressed through the combination of auxiliary verbs. Learn to connect auxiliary verbs into the power verb that you're using in your sentence in order to better your pronunciation and especially intonation. What are auxiliary verbs? They take on forms of modals, the verb to be, the verb to have, and others such as can, could, may, might, need, ought to, shall, should, and many others. But what will happen in terms of your pronunciation and intonation when using these is that they will be tightly connected to the main verb. So when you're saying, I may go to the cinema, they're not separate. They blend together. The auxiliary verb gets married to the main verb. I may go. My voice does not stop. I may go to the cinema. He will study tonight. No, there's too much separation there. He will study tonight. Maybe a stop could come after the verb, the main verb, but the auxiliary verb and the main verb will be blended together. A prime example of this is the verb can. This powerful modal verb, when in the affirmative, is almost inaudible because it becomes joined, connected, and married to the verb that goes alongside it. I can play the guitar. I can play basketball. Notice the intonation is rising. Play basketball. Play the guitar. And the actual word can is not pronounced like can, but it's soft. It's blending. I can go to the movies tonight. I can play the guitar. I can play basketball. When you practice your English aloud, be sure and try to chunk those words together in order to gain a little bit more of an advantage on your intonation. That in turn will affect your overall pronunciation, and in the long run, this can have a great effect on how you shape and express your ideas. Remember to chunk the words together whenever possible, and that will be a key to helping you express yourself more fluidly, giving your brain much more time to think about what you're going to say, and in the long run, it will ease the pressure and stress on how you communicate your ideas. This has been Zen English Podcast.